Welcome to the Art of Plating. On today's episode, we're going to take you through a few dishes that'll take your plating game to the next level. This is why you came here, to pick up those tips, wow your friends at your next dinner party. Stay tuned. Today on the Art of Plating, we're gonna bring you a nice lamb dish. We've got a 4-bone rack of lamb. We've come in, we've Frenched it just to make it look super nice. Have some rosemary, some other components to go with the dish. Let's start with the lamb. It's gonna take the longest. So just some olive oil into the pan. We've salted it. We're gonna add just a bit of pepper. Not much at all, as you can see. All right, pan is nice and hot. We're gonna hold it down against the pan. Super hot, it wants to jump away from the pan. You're not gonna cook me, not today. Little does it know, we have other plans in mind. All right, we're gonna add the rosemary into the pan. That's just gonna fry off, infuse that rosemary flavor into the oil, into the meat. All right, let's make our crust for it. We're gonna do a pistachio crust. We'll start by adding some Dijon into the bowl. Let's check out our lamb and see where it's at. You can really hear that rosemary frying off. So we're starting to get some browning, but we're not quite there yet. Flip it back, presentation side down. So as soon as we flip it, we're gonna baste it with this little paste that we've made and throw it in the oven. So we're just gonna go with a little Dijon. All right, into the bowl. Some pistachios. Use a little bit of parsley. Not too much. A little salt, a little shallot. And that's it. That's gonna be our pistachio crumble to go on top of the lamb. And we're gonna give it a mix. And that's it. All right. Stand it up on end a little bit. And take the rosemary, brush it onto the meat. Really gonna infuse some of those essential oils onto that lamb. There we go. Now this little pistachio crust would totally burn in the pan, so I'm going to pull it off, let it rest just for a few seconds while I apply our paste. You could also add some sherry vinegar to this. That would be really nice to go with the lamb. Get all 4 sides. Look at that. How beautiful is that? All right, we want to push it down a little bit so it stays, it doesn't go anywhere. Let's bring it back onto our pan. Give our station a little wipe down. All right, checking to see, make sure we've got our oven ready to go, preheating. We're gonna throw our lamb back into our pan. Hear that sizzle, we know it's doing something. We're gonna let this roast in the oven, 350 for about 18 to 22 minutes. It's gonna come out to a nice medium rare. The pistachios on the top are gonna crust off, they're gonna toast a little bit. It's gonna create a nice texture and flavor combination that'll go really well with the lamb. So we're going to throw this into the oven. By the time it comes out, it's gonna be nice and golden brown. The pistachios are gonna toast off a little bit, add a great flavor profile, textural difference to the dish. All right, we've got our lamb ready to go. We're just gonna take this. We're gonna save this pan because we're gonna cook our cannellini bean salad in the same pan, pull all those flavors together. We're gonna throw this into the oven. When we come back, we're gonna get started on our cannellini bean salad. Stay tuned. right, so now we have our lamb roasting in the oven, so let's make the cannellini bean salad to go with it. Why not? I'm gonna start off with a little onion here, some olive oil. Don't be shy with it, it's those healthy fats. Just a little bit, give it a little texture. And let's go in with our cannellini beans. We don't want too much heat on the onions. It's going to be a very bright component to the dish. Let's add some lemon zest. Man, I love some lemon zest. Nice, bright, fresh flavors going on. A little salt. All right, let's add our greens. Once again, just a quick little saute. We don't need much. And what about a little lemon juice right at the end? What do you think? All right, that's it. We're gonna call that a day. So just barely had some heat to hit the pan. We have our cannellini, red onion, lemon zest, and juice. Let's build our almond pistou. So we have some finely chopped almonds, some minced shallot, some parsley, and we're just gonna add it all together. Go with the rest of this lemon, catch all the seeds, and some olive oil. So we're making almost a pesto consistency. So we're gonna leave a little bit in the bowl here, take the rest out. We're gonna toss our cannellini beans in here. What do you think? All right, so let's give this a quick toss. Let's add a little bit more of our pistou. It's basically just a French pesto. Pesto, pistou, kind of the same thing. This doesn't have Parmesan cheese or pine nuts. But super fine knife work in there. Really comes through, highlights itself on the beans. All right, guys, welcome back. We've had our lamb roasting in the oven, 350 for 18 minutes. We have the beautiful pistachio crumble on the top with a little Dijon, just to act like a glue more than anything else. Let's pull it out. All right, let's see how it looks. Beautiful. Almost as if we know what we're doing. Got that beautiful medium center here. Let's grab a plate. Throw it together. Now we have our resting plate, as we've discussed before. We'll start with a little pesto onto the plate, creating our motion here. Got our wilted kale, cannellini bean salad. Timer just went off. We just pulled it out, so our spider sense was working. We pulled it out just before the timer went off. Means we paid attention in class. A little bit more of the pistou on the top. Go a little bit there. Let's drizzle a little bit of olive oil on the top. A little bit of finishing salt. Anytime you slice meat, you want to add a little finishing salt to the part that you've sliced. That's it. Here we have our herb pistachio crust lamb chops with a wilted kale and cannellini bean salad and an almond pistou on the top. You're gonna love this one, guys. All right, guys. On today's episode of The Art of Plating, we're gonna do a creamy corn bisque. It's a one pot stop to deliciousness. Here we go. All right, olive oil in the pan. We're gonna add some bacon, because you can't go wrong with bacon. Now we just wanna brown the bacon off just a little bit. We don't want too much color on there, but we just want to caramelize it a little bit. And then we're going to add some onion, some organic sweet corn. Is there anything better than the smell of bacon in this world? I didn't think so. Just keeping it moving so it doesn't burn. Burnt bacon is not delicious. And it's on high heat, but as long as we're standing here next to it and kind of babysitting it, keeping an eye on it, then it should be totally fine. The trick is to keep it moving. All right, so we're just gonna brown it off a little bit, and then we're gonna set it to the side. We're actually gonna leave a little bit in the bisque, and we're gonna blend it up with everything else, so we'll add that umami flavor that the dish really will benefit from. All right, so a little trick here, kind of turn it on its side, and now it's gonna cook more evenly. It's almost deep frying in its own fat. So we have a bacon confit going on here. Stuff that dreams are made of. All right. Just a little bit on the garnish. We'll leave the rest in the pan. Throw in our onion, our corn. All right, so this is a pretty simple dish. We're gonna have, in the base of it anyways, just a few items, 3 or 4, 5 ingredients tops. Got our bacon that we pulled off to the side for our garnish. All right, we're gonna season it, keep it pretty light because we already have the salt from the bacon. Add a little pepper. All right, so now we've got everything. It's sweated a little bit. We don't want too much color on here. We're going to deglaze with some dry white wine. In the pot you go. And we're just gonna reduce this to au sec. Au sec means almost dry, so we're gonna let it evaporate and dry out pretty much. So what happens when you reduce? You're taking out the water in the form of steam, and that's concentrating the flavor of anything that you are reducing. In this case, it's the white wine, concentrating all the flavors of the bacon, the onion, and the corn, and the wine itself, that acidic bite that you really enjoy. All right, now we're almost there. So we can see there's not a ton of liquid left in the pan. That's what we're going for. We're gonna season a little bit throughout each layer. It's gonna give each layer its own identity and make it stand out and make it more multi-dimensional as well. All right, so now we're gonna add the cream. This is the base of the dish. And we're gonna reduce this by half. That's it. All right, when we come back, we're going to blend it, turn it into a bisque. We're gonna finish our garnish. We're gonna finish the piece of halibut that we're gonna put on top, bring it all together, plate it. Check it out. All right, so we're gonna top this a little zucchini kind of salad on the top, just to give it some brightness, some freshness. All right, we just wanted to mandolin these, toss them in a little bit of salt. It's going to pull out some of the moisture, make it a little more pliable. And we're gonna do some radish batons. All right, that looks fun, right? Let's get this over to the side of the board. Get our zucchini. Quick little wipe. All right, we're ready to plate. So it's gonna be a super light summer dish, and we're just gonna wing it, see what happens. Got some spoons here. Let's go with a few pieces of our just firm white fish that we had lying around. No big deal. Classic little fan. There we go. Boom. A little bit of bacon. Go with some scallions. All works nicely together. Bit of our zucchini here. And by us salting it, it allowed that to stay flat on the ground. Let's throw in some tomatoes just for some color, because why not? Keep it nice and light. Some radish batons and our corn bisque. This is something that we would do table side, so we would serve it at the table after our guests have already had a chance to receive the rest of the dish. And some fresh dill for some color. All right, we have our corn bisque, little flaked white fish, some zucchini, cherry tomatoes, a little radish batons, and one more thing, a little hazelnut. Gonna make a little hazelnut snow right on the top. All right, there you go. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We hope you picked up a few tips to help you along the way, taking your plating game to the next level. Here's a few examples of some things you can try. We've got our pistachio crust lamb chops with a cannellini bean salad, and then our flaky white fish with our creamy corn bisque, little summer salad on the side there. Enjoy.